Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Chaffee. It's weather in 5 days and 5 minutes on this Tuesday, the 24th of March. And of course, the day after what was actually a fairly significant early spring snowstorm for the interior Northeast. You can see some of the snowfall totals here indicated in the yellows and the lighter yellow. I guess what that color is in between that and the blues. It's a general 6 to 8 inch snowfall, but there were a number of areas that pushed, especially in elevated areas in upstate New York and on up into central and northern New England, that pushed amounts up over 10 inches in some places. And of course, those amounts lessened as you moved south. It looks like the line was right along Route 84 as far as where the southern edge of accumulating snow was. And some of that 3 to 6 inch snowfall extended down into northwestern Connecticut, almost down to Route 84, and also into the Catskills, down into Sullivan County. So for an early spring snowfall, this was pretty significant. Now we're going to move on to our weather for today and going forward. And you'll notice that the weather across much of the country is fairly quiet. There are some severe weather issues that are going to be we're going to have to deal with across the Gulf states over the next couple of days. And here we have for today, there is a rather large area of slight risk in much of Tennessee, northern Alabama and Mississippi, and northwestern Georgia, and a small portion of the state of Arkansas. And of course, you see this larger area of marginal risk that's indicated. The Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic states are fine. We have a weak weather system going by tonight that's going to bring clouds and maybe a chilly rain for a little while for our neck of the woods from Northeast Virginia to southern New England. But as far as severe weather goes, it looks like a marginal risk for Wednesday in coastal North Carolina and a small portion of South Carolina. And as we move on into the day 3 outlook, we start to see the next area of marginal risk showing up in parts of Kansas and Missouri. And as we move on from there, that'll take us through the weekend. You're going to have to keep our eyes on this area here on days 4 and 5 because when the Storm Prediction Center shows risk in its 4 to 8 day time frame, it's usually a good idea to pay attention. So that would be for Saturday and for Sunday in the areas that are being indicated there on the loop. And of course, we'll keep you updated on the goings on with regards to severe weather. Meanwhile, we're recovering nicely today. Temperatures approaching the midday hours in the middle and even some upper 40s, popping up in a few places from Northeast Virginia on up into southern New England. And as far as the satellite is concerned, we do have, yes, there are still some patchy clouds around, but a bit of a hole has opened up with some sunshine in areas from southern New England, south and west. And you get into some more cloud cover, as you can see here on the loop, pushing southward. Our low from yesterday is pretty obvious here, south of Nova Scotia and moving away. And as you look to the west, you can see the next shortwave trough that is moving out of the Central Plains and heading into the middle Mississippi Valley. And of course, this is what is triggering off the severe weather issues. The precipitation here, a little bit of rain off the North Carolina coast approaching midday, and we are seeing some heavier rains and some thunderstorms in the area from northern Mississippi, northern Alabama into Tennessee, back westward into southern Missouri and over into parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. And of course, this is the area where we see the marginal to slight risk for severe weather. So going forward, we are seeing a bit of a pattern change. For those of you who are snow lovers, you pay attention to these teleconnections, and I bring them up from time to time. They basically are measures of changes of pressure across the atmosphere in different geographic areas. And of course, snow lovers are always going to look to the North Atlantic Oscillation. This was yesterday's teleconnection shot, but as we look at today's, based on weather models last night, it does look like we're going into a blocky or a blocking pattern as we head toward the end of March and the beginning of April. Now, this is something that happens in the springtime because the polar vortex is breaking down, weather systems are slowing down, the jet stream is slowing down, so you do tend to get into a blocky pattern. The Pacific North America Index, which right now is off the wall negative, deep trough in the west, ridging in the east, will be rising fairly rapidly toward the neutral line. And the East Pacific Oscillation, which is helping us to stay rather chilly, is somewhat negative now, goes slightly positive, and then goes strongly negative in conjunction with that NAO here. So something we're going to have to keep an eye on as we head into the first week or so of April. See if it winds up evolving into anything. But I might keep my eye on the time frame, say after April 4th or 5th, when you start to see these teleconnections migrating toward the neutral line. That might be an important time frame from the standpoint of storm development. So we'll see. And by the way, I'm not when I say storm development, we're talking mostly rain, unless proven otherwise, at least for the areas from Northeast Virginia to Southern New England. In the meantime, as we said, yesterday's system moving out. We have this next system moving by to our south for tonight into Wednesday morning. You see the northern edge of that rain doesn't really get very far north. So I'm thinking that the GFS might be a little too far south here. There's also a tendency in this pattern for highs to go by to our north, which means that we get set up in onshore flow from much of the time. That holds temperatures down, and it does create some cloud issues. We should see improvement on Thursday. Thursday night into Friday morning, particularly Friday morning, it looks like another weather system is dropping southeast with a high building to the north. You'll notice that the GFS does have a little bit of snow here, northeastern Pennsylvania, and on up into the Catskills and northern Connecticut. That shouldn't be a big surprise. Rain just about everywhere else. Then, of course, that system moves out. That high is still to the north, and here comes the next setup with rain over the weekend. I'm not 100% certain whether this next low is going to go by to our west to the Great Lakes like the GFS has it. It does get up into southern Wisconsin and then starts translating eastward. And with this North Atlantic oscillation in play, that's going to try to force weather systems to go by to our south. That means chilly conditions for much of the time. So for the remainder of today, we're looking at sunshine. Maybe again some clouds still around from time to time. High temperatures are going to be mostly in the 50s, a little bit chillier as you head up north of New York City and on up into northern Connecticut, a little warmer as you head down into Maryland and southeastern Virginia. Wednesday, with that low going by to our south, it's going to be a little bit on the chilly side with temperatures in the 40s. And of course, there will be cloud cover to deal with. And we'll see the temperatures rebound a bit back into the 50s on Thursday. And then, of course, the next weather system comes along for Friday that shall probably, at least if it goes by quickly in the morning, we might be able to see 50s to near 60. And then, of course, the weekend brings with it onshore flow issues and clouds, and we'll sort all that out as we get a little bit closer. The Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, so do join in. That's on my YouTube channel, Joe Chaffee, so be sure to go there and subscribe to it. It's absolutely free. Use your Gmail account and jump on the chat board and participate. And of course, don't forget to download the free weather app, the Meteorologist Joe Chaffee weather app, and Angry Ben's weather app, the Angry Weatherman. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.